Hello everyone! For today's video, we're checking out some of the best new action roguelike and roguelite games you can play right now in 2026. There have been a lot of new releases lately, and honestly, some of them are really worth your time. Well, let's get into the list. Masks of the Void Origins is an action roguelite with a pretty cool idea. You fight using telekinesis. Instead of just shooting, you're grabbing rocks and random stuff from the environment and throwing them at enemies. And honestly, that's the most fun part. Smashing groups or causing chain reactions just feels really satisfying. The game plays kind of like a bullet hell, where enemies keep coming non-stop, but here you actually have to think a bit more, especially in boss fights. You're dodging attacks, aiming your throws, and even using enemy patterns against them. Vial is a classic retro FPS roguelite. The game is built around fast runs, high scores, and replaying levels to get better. It's more like a speedrunning game where you're trying to be as efficient as possible and climb the leaderboard. It's fast, really fast. You're constantly moving, shooting, and diving into pools of blood to stay alive. Your health is tied to your blood vial, and it slowly drains over time. The only way to survive is to keep killing enemies and using their blood to refill, so you can't stop. If you slow down, you die. It creates this constant pressure where you're always on the edge, rushing from one enemy to the next. Carmageddon is back, but this time as a brutal roguelite car combat game. It's not a sequel or a remake, it's more like a spin-off that keeps the same vibe, crashes, chaos, and dark humor, but adds a modern roguelite twist. And yeah, it's all about non-stop destruction. The old games had big open maps where you could drive around freely. This one is different. Now you're racing through tighter tracks that keep the action going all the time. No downtime, just pure chaos. That said, the game has mixed reviews right now, so it might not click with everyone. Galactic Vault is a fast-paced FPS roguelite set in a future. You play as a bounty hunter who just crashes into enemy ships and starts blasting. You clear room after room full of enemies until you reach the final boss. That's basically the whole story. The gameplay is simple and easy to get into. You run, jump, shoot, and keep moving the whole time. One cool thing is that all weapons have unlimited ammo. You don't have to worry about running out of bullets, just quick reloads, so the action never really slows down. Even your grenades come back every time you enter a new room, so you can keep throwing them without holding back.
The wizards are mission most bold.
The Spell Brigade is a co-op survivors-like game where you team up with up to 4 players and fight huge waves of enemies using crazy magic. You and your friends play as wizards, taking on thousands of monsters, completing team objectives, and building powerful spell combos together. But here's the twist. Friendly fire is always on. That means your spells can hit your teammates too, so fights quickly turn into chaotic, messy, and honestly pretty funny moments. Even when you die, you can come back using revive tokens, sometimes blasting your way back into the fight. Reaver is a mix of a boomer shooter, roguelite upgrades, and round-based survival. You get thrown into crazy arenas with one simple goal: just stay alive. The gameplay gets intense really fast. Enemies keep coming non-stop, and the longer you last, the harder it gets. Every kill gives you money, and you use that to upgrade your gear before the next round hits. You can also play with up to 4 players, so you don't have to deal with all that chaos alone. Team up with your friends, pick your weapons, build your loadouts, and try to survive as long as you can. Nevergrave. The Witch and the Curse is a Roguevania where you play as a witch exploring a strange, eerie world. This game is built around 2 main parts: dungeon combat and base progression, and both are actually enjoyable in their own way. The combat is fast and satisfying, while the base side lets you slow down, farm resources, upgrade your gear, and just chill for a bit. That said, it does take time to fully get into, so if you're only looking for non-stop action, this might not be for you. Even with the mixed reviews, I don't think the game is bad at all, it just isn't for everyone. Imagine a world where your life is just entertainment. That's the idea behind this roguelike shooter set in a dark dystopian game show run by a company called LUCKROT. In this game, you're a live streamer. You're thrown into a deadly arena, fighting waves of twisted, mutated enemies. Every room you clear brings you closer to death and a bigger audience, because people are watching and they love it. The longer you survive, the more viewers you get, but they're not there to support you. They're there to see how far you can go before you die. And yeah, the chat, it's exactly what you'd expect. Constant spam, insults, and chaos the whole time. Another early access roguelite, yeah, I get it. There are a lot of them right now, and honestly, the formula can feel a bit overused. But this one gets a pass, because it's from the same team behind HUNTDOWN, and that game was seriously good. Since it's a roguelite, you'll be replaying the same early areas a lot. But honestly, the game still looks great. The pixel art is sharp, and the lighting really stands out, and most importantly, the gameplay is fun. It keeps that tight run-and-gun action from HUNTDOWN, but adds just enough progression to keep you coming back for one more run.
Evolves, pushes harder until the job is finished.
The idea of it has my face is simple, but really creepy. Something out there looks exactly like you, and it's trying to kill you. You're thrown into a first-person horror roguelite where your biggest threat is your own clone, hiding in a crowd and waiting for the right moment to strike. So the game becomes a tense mind game. You have to find your clone before it finds you, watching everyone closely, searching for weapons, and managing your limited ammo, because you only get one real chance to take it down. If you miss, you lose your advantage, and now you're the one being hunted. LORT is a co-op action roguelite similar to Risk of Rain 2, but with a fantasy setting. You can pick different characters, but the main focus is actually on the weapons you find during your run. And some of them are just ridiculous. You've got swords and guns, but also things like a squid on a stick, or even multiple guns taped together. It's chaotic in a very intentional way. The gameplay is all about fighting waves of enemies, picking up upgrades, and getting stronger as you go. You can play it solo if you want, but the real highlight is the co-op. Up to 8 players can jump in together, which sounds like complete chaos in the best way possible.
And goblins with shoes on their heads.
Cult of the Lamb was one of my favorite games back in 2022. It mixed cult management with roguelike combat in a really unique way. Now, with the Woolhaven DLC, the game gets a massive expansion. Honestly, it feels less like DLC and more like a full second chapter. To access it, you need to finish the main game first, so jumping back in after a long break can feel a bit confusing, especially with all the new systems added over time. But once you get used to it again, everything starts to click. YAPYAP is a chaotic co-op horror extraction roguelite game. You and up to 4 friends play as goofy little minions working for a giant wizard, sent to destroy a rival wizard's tower. Your goal? Cause as much chaos as possible. Break everything, statues, paintings, crates, anything you can find, all within a short time limit. Each match is fast. You only get about 8 minutes, so it's pure chaos from the start. You run through randomly generated rooms, blasting everything with magic.
Bro, what the hell is this?
Roguelites live or die by one thing, momentum. That feeling of just one more run. And DunHero absolutely gets that. This game is a fast, colorful dungeon crawler that throws tons of choices at you. With 600 plus items and tons of upgrades, you can create some crazy builds. One run, you're healing non-stop while spinning through enemies. Next run, you're a glass cannon nuking the entire screen. Finding these broken combos is the best part. Furthermore, the combat is quick and chaotic. Enemies flood the screen, so you're always moving, dodging, and reacting fast. And when everything clicks, you hit that perfect roguelite flow, where you feel powerful but still in danger. Rotwood is a roguelite brawler about hunting corrupted beasts in a twisted forest. After nearly 2 years in early access, version 1.0 finally launched with a full ending, a final boss, and tough endgame challenges, plus a surprise release on Nintendo Switch 2. The combat is where the game shines. This isn't a button-mashing game. You actually need timing, positioning, and awareness. Each weapon has its own rhythm, so you'll need to learn how it works. Dodging at the right moment, landing clean hits, and chaining combos, it all matters. With that in mind, you can play solo, but the game truly shines in co-op. With up to 4 players, fights become chaotic, fast, and really fun.
From the stingingly small to the...
Lucky Tower Ultimate is the kind of game that will constantly troll you, and somehow that's what makes it so fun. You play as a narcissistic knight who suddenly gets trapped inside a bizarre tower with no armor, no weapons, and absolutely no clue what's happening. Your goal sounds simple: escape the tower. But this game does not play fair. The tower is filled with deadly traps, weird monsters, and complete nonsense. One minute you feel unstoppable with strong gear and a perfect run, and the next minute you slip on a banana peel and instantly die. That's basically the entire experience. It's chaotic, unfair, ridiculous, and you're going to die constantly. But every failure is so random and hilarious that it's hard to stop playing.
We've got something for everyone. There's magic, ridiculously rad, and a band like play.
If you're looking for a weird and unique co-op horror roguelite, then KLETKA might be one of the strangest games out there. In this game, you and your friends play as prisoners trapped inside a massive endless facility called the Gigastructure. This place is filled with monsters, traps, and strange anomalies hiding in the dark. Your only safe place is an elevator named KLETKA, but there's one problem. The elevator is alive. To survive, you constantly need to feed it fuel, scrap, or honestly, anything edible. And if you fail to keep it happy long enough, KLETKA might decide that its passengers look pretty tasty too. So most of the gameplay becomes this intense loop of exploring dangerous rooms, searching for supplies, avoiding monsters, and rushing back before the elevator gets hungry again. Cinderia is another roguelite entering a genre that's already packed with games. But instead of just copying the usual formula, this game actually tries to stand out by giving players a huge amount of freedom with builds and combat styles. At first glance, the gameplay feels familiar. You enter a run, fight through enemies, collect upgrades, and eventually face a boss. But what makes Cinderia interesting is how many systems are layered together. The game gives you tons of skills, modifiers, and equipment that can combine in unexpected ways. Instead of forcing you into one overpowered strategy, the game constantly encourages experimentation. Almost every run feels different. If you love fast boomer shooters roguelite, then ODDCORE might be one of the coolest games to check out right now. This is a fast-paced FPS where every run only lasts about 5 minutes, so the game constantly pushes you to move fast and survive as long as possible. Each area gives you a random objective. Sometimes you need to kill enemies, sometimes collect strange items, and other times you just need to survive deadly ambushes. After that, you jump into another weird dimension and do it all over again. Even in early access, ODDCORE already feels stylish, unique, and surprisingly addictive. Ubisoft delivers another amazing roguelike after the Rogue Prince of Persia, and this time it's called Morbid Metal. The first thing that stands out is the combat. It's fast, flashy, and incredibly stylish. If you enjoy games like Devil May Cry 5, you'll probably feel right at home. On the surface, the combat system seems simple. You have basic attacks, 2 skills, and an ultimate. But the real fun comes from chaining everything together into smooth combos. The game also rewards you for playing with style. There's a style rank system that rises as you fight, and it climbs even faster when you mix attacks and swap forms creatively. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more exciting new roguelike and roguelite games. That's it, and see you next time.